Hi there, people. This is Pray Love, and welcome back. And today we're gonna talk about the new release from the Amen line, Angel Man line, if you will. Um, it is Amen Phantasm, and just with the name, I am the kind of person that really enjoys, the Tom Ford over sexual kind of marketing. I'm not exclusively loving that kind of marketing, but I always fall for that kind of thing, and I really enjoy Mugler as a brand for using kind of a different way of approaching that very sexy, very sexual kind of marketing, and Tom Ford doing it like an old-fashioned way, which is great too. So I really like those two, the Design Your House, for a lot of different reasons. Um, I do not own like the original Amen. I used to. I have rocked that fragrance for a long time. I was loving it, uh, and I sold it at some point. I don't know why. I still regret doing that. I still regret it bitterly, and I wanted to get just that fragrance, but I stumbled upon the new release, and I wanted to give it a try, and I tested it on skin, and um, I thought it was beautiful. So I got this for my kind of a little present for myself. The beginning of the year, like the school year, I'm going back to school, so that's another big thing in my life. Okay, so this is Amen Phantasm. You can see that the bottle is extremely similar to the Amen bottle. I think the design is a little more slick just because it's like more like black, and the silver star on it is more slick. It's very beautiful. It's a very beautiful bottle, but you did know that the Amen bottles are very beautiful. If you like them, some people find it tacky. I really love them. I really like the Angel bottles too. I love everything Bugler does. No, not everything, but I really like Mugler as a whole. So yeah, this is it. And what does it smell like? Well, okay. I know that there's mixed reviews on the internet. If you go to different, uh, you know, if you go to different reviewers, sometimes they'll be like, "This is great. It's an ode to the original. It's whatever, whatever." Some people are gonna be like, "Yeah, this is too old school. It doesn't work. Um, it's divisive. It's whatever." So I'm going to try to do like a middle ground because obviously love that fragrance, because I wouldn't have bought like a full bottle of it if I didn't love it. Um, I obviously love it. Uh, the the thing is, I think that it is a divisive fragrance, but I think that the original is a divisive fragrance. What I really think about that fragrance, Amen Phantasm, is that it is a not just more modern interpretation on the original Amen. It's kind of a sharper, more well done, more well rounded version of the original Amen. What I mean by that, I do not mean to put down the original Amen. It is a fantastic fragrance. It is completely out of this world. The tar accord at the beginning is very harsh, but it's something that everyone kind of still kind of enjoys. The fans of the fragrance really enjoy that tar opening and the harshness of it all. Uh, I think that you will find almost everything that you liked about the original in the new Amen Phantasm. It's just that it's a bit more polished, and it's more like some elements just like take more space. And the tarot card is, it's kind of, if like, I don't know how they did that, but it's kind of like if they did like a little hint of that tarot card at the first beginning when you spray it on. You get like this weird kind of tar, like petroleum whatever mix that just hits you, and then you're like, whoa. And then it just lasts for like a couple of seconds. It's kind of like just a little nod, like to be like, Yeah, remember the tar cord that used to last like 15 minutes or like even like half an hour for some people? Well, it's there. It's just like sprinkled there, and afterwards some other elements just take on the show. You will find kind of a citrusy, kind of a mandarin or like kind of vibe that just gets out a little bit more in the opening, which you wouldn't get from the original Amen. Uh, what else is very important there? There's a caramel note that is very prominent. Okay, so I really feel that they have taken more of the gourmand side of the Amen original fragrance, which had like caramel and chocolate and stuff like that. It was like mixed all over. This one is a bit more like caramel and truffle, but they're not done in a way that's excessively sweet. It's kind of like an eye hand like dessert. Um, it's a bit sweeter, I think, than Tom Ford Noir Extreme like to make a comparison between the kind of a gourmand. But it's not as it's maybe a little bit sweeter, but it's not that much sweeter, and it's bitter. Like there's this like coffee kind of a vibe to it that is very very nice. And there's a lot of like density and a lot of darkness in that fragrance, and there's kind of a weird. I don't think it's in the notes. I've never seen it in like listed anywhere. I've never seen anyone talk about it online. It has kind of a coconut vibe. Okay, so it's got like this kind of a coconut, like even almost sunscreen, but more coconut than just sunscreen. Like not cheap sunscreen, like more like actual coconut and milk, like coconut milk also, but there's kind of a vibe of that, and there's kind of like the citruses will last like for all the fragrances duration. It's just they will die off progressively, but they kind of mix into that kind of a very like very intricate uh, desert kind of a vibe, like gourmandish, but it's not really a gourmand either. It still retains a lot of that very dark tar leather quality from the original Amen. So there's a lot of like this going on too. There's all this original stuff. Um, I'm gonna like try to remind myself a little bit, and I will show you the the atomizer sucks, but that's you if you know the Amen line, you know that the atomizers on those fragrances are trash, and this is they just took the exact same kind of bottle format from the original, and it they like the atomizers are very bad, but that's okay. Yes, okay, so there's it's very weird because there's a lot of things going on. It just retains all the same kind of elements from the original. It's just like some just pop a little more, and like the way it comes out is like mandarin, coconut, caramel, chocolate. Like these are the like edible side of the fragrance, but then it's also like leather and um I don't know, a kind of a semi petrol vibe, of like very like almost like incensey kind of mishmash that just brought like brought together just gives off this kind of like if you're in a very dark room with like a very like you're in a country you don't even know, like you don't even like you didn't even figure this country existed or something, and they have like this kind of a cake that's like an important cake from them because it represents something and whatever, and you're in a very like everything's very dark, and there's like one candle at some point, and people are wearing leather and stuff. This is kind of like a very very interesting fragrance overall just because there's so much going on. Now that I'm saying this, I realized that maybe for some of you, you're gonna be like, okay, well, is this wearable or is this like a niche kind of zoologist fragrance? It is not. It's actually very wearable, and that's the most impressive thing that they did with that. That's the most impressive thing they did with the Amen first fragrance. If you haven't smelled that, just go and smell it before you smell Phantasm. They're like very similar in tremendous ways, but it's fantastic how they did that. But what it comes off as is kind of like, there's kind of a fruitiness, there's kind of a gourmandy like chocolate whatever, and there's kind of a, because of the kind of aromatic side of like chocolate, it kind of feels like the coffee-ish with kind of leather and kind of whatever, and it just smells very gorgeous and very very like sexy. It's a party fragrance. It's overtly very sexy. It's yeah, it's a party fragrance. It's perfect for clubbing, perfect for parties. It projects a whole lot. You'll stay in the room almost. It's very very well done. It lasts a damn long time. Some people will say, "Oh yes, it's very old schoolish. It smells like an older guy." Uh, I'm not really thinking that it smells like an old guy or whatever. I think women can pull this off also. I think it still takes someone who's a woman who's bold that's gonna like to wear that. It's very stereotypically masculine with all the darkness and the heaviness of the fragrance. But I'm sure like a lot of women out there would just love to try that and have this sense of power that comes to them. I think it would be still very sexy. I think like I would like make it try to some of my girlfriends, and they'll be s- like super super sexy with that. I like I don't know. I'd give that to one of my friends if she was like getting single or whatever. Like just get some guys, whatever. No, I'm just kidding. But it's like it's very sexy. I think it doesn't matter like who you are. It's just gonna work so well. Um, I think that I don't think it smells old. I think people will say that because they remember the Amen fragrance from the 90s, and then they'll be like, yeah, it smells old, but today people don't really remember that, right? Like people my age and younger are not remembering Amen. I remember, like, I don't remember Amen, but I love Amen because I bought it like a couple of years ago, and I was like 25 or 24, I don't remember, but it's not something that's a good argument in my opinion, that like, oh yeah, it smells like something people would wear in the 90s. I think people were wearing that in the 90s. I think there's more iconic 90s fragrance than that, and like more iconic fragrance types than that in the 90s and the 80s. That this is not that. Like this is not, Amen is not a fragrance that was, there wasn't like 12 copies of Amen at the same time and everyone was nose blind to it because everyone was wearing Amen the same way people are wearing Sauvage nowadays and stuff like that for like the past decade even. So just bottom line, there is no way you're gonna like be smelling. It takes confidence and it takes a bold person to actually wear that because it is dense and it is challenging, but it's not an old person fragrance. I do think that most of the time people will get the confidence and boldness to wear that in their late 20s at least. But if you're 22 and you're confident and bold and you're like, I don't care, I'm just gonna get like an all black super strange outfit like Rick Owens or something, and you're gonna wear that, please do. It's gonna smell awesome, but it's not also like that weird. If I was wearing like a weirder outfit and stuff like that, I wouldn't be wearing that because it is wearable. It is like I've gotten compliments for that one. It's still a designer fragrance. It's still an easy to wear a fragrance, but it does smell different. So if you want to smell different and you're bold and you're confident about putting this off, yeah, more power to you. Do wherever you are. And I love this fragrance. I wear it all the time. It's one of my daily, like, it's in my daily rotation. So yeah, just spread love and spray love. Bye bye.